Hello, everybody. My name is Chicken, and welcome back to another episode of Chicken's Customs. Finally, today's spotlight will be on my custom gold Edward. So, for those of you who don't know what this is, there was originally a planned release for Gold Edward to be released alongside the 60 years metallic gold, silver, and bronze Thomas Percy and Diesel, or maybe instead of one of them. I'm not really sure, but that doesn't matter. What does matter is that it was never released, and we were robbed because this thing is really cool. So I decided to make it since it's Edward, and he deserves it. So yeah. So this Edward was made using just a regular, stock standard 2003 Edward. I covered it in gold Sharpie to give it the gold appearance. Unfortunately, it's not as bright as, the metallic paint that they used on the official items, but I don't know. I can't really do anything about that. I tried different polishers. None of them worked. It would just remove the Sharpie. So, yeah. But yeah, so let's just kind of talk about the model a little bit. It's, again, it's just a regular Edward covered in Sharpie. Except for the tender. The tender is actually a 2001 James tender. It's the same shape as an Edward one, so I don't really care that much. I didn't have an extra Edward tender, but I had like 3 James tenders, so I decided to use that instead. Yeah. So the thing about the face is that it looks really dark. It's just the lighting, and I apologize for that. I tried a bunch of different lamps for this, but none of them worked. So, yeah. So, I said that this was a canceled item. However, one of them, I think only one, actually exists in the world, and that is what I used as a basis for my model. But I took some liberties with it to make it fit in better with mine. As you can see in the picture, right there. The face is painted, like the eyes are white. I could have done that, but that wouldn't be like the ones that were released. The Thomas Percy and Diesel, none of them have painted eyes or anything like that, so I didn't do that. Also in the image you can see that the tender coal is supposed to be gold as well. I left mine just black, since, the bunkers on Thomas and Percy are black. So that's why I did that. So yeah, a little bit of like how I made it. The hardest parts to get the Sharpie, because again, it's just a gold Sharpie. It was very challenging to get around the wheels. And I can take them off and color them in underneath there. Just like the little gaps in there. But I don't know. I never did that. It doesn't bother me all that much. But for the face, I cut it off with a knife, so that way I could get the chin and stuff. But whenever I did that, because the Edward model was in such bad shape, it was like sun damaged, the plastic was very brittle, and it broke into about 5 pieces. So I had to re-glue it back together. So, yeah, this Edward has had plastic surgery. Laugh. So yeah, that's really about the whole model. Again, it is just a simple repaint of a regular 2003 Edward. This Edward looks like a knockoff. It's not, I promise. It just has misprinted eyes. I also made the eyes on this model a bit too big, but whatever. I don't really care. So yeah, I repainted the running board, the stripes, the handrails, the number. Yeah, it's just a repaint of Edward. So yeah, and I should mention that he's not the only one that was never released. So as you can see in these images, there is also a bronze Toby, a bronze Diesel 10, and a silver Thomas. I would love to make those models as well. But the only thing is that for a Toby and Diesel 10, you can see that, you know, around the trim and around the stripes, there's like different shades of bronze, which I'm not quite sure how I would do with a Sharpie. They make silver and bronze Sharpies, but not like multiple shades of them. So I'm just not quite sure how I would go about it. Thomas would be easy because he's all just one color. And that's why I did Edward, since he's just, you know, one shade of gold. Thomas would work, but Thomas is too popular. He already has so many variants. He doesn't need to be silver. He's already gold, so like he doesn't even need whatever. So yeah, now that I've talked about not the gold Edward, I think it's about time we wrap this up. So, thank you very much for watching this custom spotlight video. I hope you don't mind the sort of unedited footage compared to my last Chickens Custom. These are much easier to produce. So, yeah. The new format will just be me kind of talking about the model and, you know, in front of the camera. Unscripted, let that be known. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next Custom Spotlight. Bye-bye.